Hey yo, what's up everybody? It's JJ. Today we're coming back to a video basically talking about this M2 Pro miner, and of course you might be receiving like newsletter telling you to buy your M2 Pro miner now at a discounted rate and stuff like this. In this video itself, we're gonna basically break down the segment on talking about the first segment, what is this M2 Pro MXC check all about, and of course the price of MXC, and of course my personal mining results, and of course lastly the last segment itself is the one that you watch through the whole segment itself. Is basically talking about should you invest in this MXC token itself slash the miner. And of course I would say it is very incentivized to basically run this type of miner because you are basically using low electricity, and after that from there you are earning like from $10 to $15 per day off by running this miner itself. And I'm going to show you the personal results that I have to basically do your own due diligence before you jump into this type of project itself. And of course, I'm gonna give you a slight note itself on this video itself. Not really gonna promote MX Pro slash M2 Pro like heavily telling you to invest or whatsoever, but because based on my own experience, and of course on the channel itself, I already spoke about like on my content itself. I came across any new investment itself, I would throw my money in, and after that from there, after days or maybe months of investment itself, then I would basically give you a final update on should you invest in it. And of course from time to time, yes, I would say that if you want to join me with the journey itself, feel free to join, and after that purchase the miner of your own using my affiliate link down below. And of course all of the affiliate money itself is to basically put into a new project, a new investment, and after that stuff like this, which I would say most of them from time to time it is failing. And of course from there I would say that I'm not really making like a big bang, a big buck off this type of project. And of course I'm not paid to do so. It's basically just an affiliate promotion slash down below. And of course, if let's say you have not subscribed to the channel, kindly hit the subscribe button, turn on post notification, and leave a thumbs up to this video. And of course, I do have a Patreon, basically link down below, and of course affiliate links which is down below to help and support the channel itself. So without further ado, we're gonna basically jump into the topic itself, talking what is this M2 Pro miner slash the MXC topic that we're gonna talk about. So over here, for those who are new, you might want to watch this segment itself. And of course, if you want to know more about this M2 Pro miner itself, I have done like content about it. It's gonna pop up above, just click on it. And of course, without further ado, we're gonna jump into the content itself. So over here I have a screenshot, basically a newsletter from M2 Pro itself telling you that Happy New Year, and after that there's a new deal for you guys to basically purchase your miner. So here you are getting like a $200 €200 off this miner itself with this Happy New deals itself. So I would say should you really jump into this itself and purchase this itself? Before you jump into that itself, make sure to watch the whole content. And of course, we're gonna basically explain to you what is this M2 Pro all about. Basically over here, M2 Pro itself is marketed as the same concept as helium mining, basically providing network coverage across the world. And after that, from there you can basically use the IoT Internet of Things stuff to basically connect into their network, and of course from there pay a very little fee. But of course the problem with MXC itself, or the M2 Pro ecosystem itself, there is not much progress that is ongoing slash marketing or partnership that is ongoing compared to helium itself. And of course I would say for them itself is quite small scale. And of course you can see they have proclaimed that they have 170 of this miner that is allocated around the world. And after that, from there they have these 8 super nodes, and I've already talked about this super nodes itself is very centralized entity. And of course from there you can see that there's around 64,000, almost 63.3 thousand of these units itself being deployed. And after that, from there you can see there's 60 plus terabyte of data accumulated. So 60 plus terabyte itself, to be honest, it's not really a lot if let's say you want to talk about like transmitting data since the start of their project and stuff like this. So I would say with this over 6,000 over 60,000 over units that is around, and after that from there I would say they have a market cap of 220 million. So over here, is it true? We're gonna basically look at the price of it. So before that itself, we can scroll down itself. They are basically building a crowdsourced IoT network itself, which basically what Helium network is doing. And of course, you can scroll down. They have basically a mobile application to basically manage, stake, and mine with the Data Dash app itself. And of course, they do have a MXC mapper. Basically, they are heading towards the metaverse ecosystem itself. And of course, I would say this over here is really just a marketing trick, to be honest. And after that, from there we scroll down itself, the market cap itself is currently at 88 billion compared to what they have proclaimed themselves, 220 million market cap. So yeah, I mean they have not updated the site or something like that. So we're gonna basically jump into the price of this MXC itself. So by looking at the 1 day itself, yeah, I mean it is dumping and dumping. But of course, if you look at the all-time itself, the all-time chart itself, the project itself started off 2018 itself. It's already been here for almost 4 years. And after that, from there you can see the progress of the of this project itself was fairly good enough. During 2020, there's a bull market, there's a pump, and after that, there recently the recent bull market itself, which is the 2022 one, and of course they basically got a very high increment, and of course from there we are basically back at the spot of basically 2021. So whatever that has been gained within a year itself has really plummeted down back to 2021. And after that, I would say you can see the small spike over here is due to the list I think some listing with their market itself. Over here we can see that they are listed on Coinbase, and after that Binance, stuff like this. So over here they are listed on Binance.us, not Binance.com, but only the US side. Therefore I would say it has really attracted some of the US investor into the market itself. Therefore there's a pump over here, and after this was the release of their listing. So I would say this is the reason for the price pump itself within these few months of like bear market, and everything is red and stuff like this. So over here this is like the pump that happened. And of course we are gonna basically talk about the personal results that most of you guys are more interested in, because you guys might be thinking, okay, I've already seen this project like many like during the bull market itself, and right now it's the bear market. So should I really spend my money to buy this miner to basically generate me some MXC token during this bear market itself? So we're gonna basically jump into the topic. So we hear the start of it, I would say the personal result itself, to be honest, it's not really like making 100% ROI, or maybe like not like a 200x of my investment, or basically double my money or stuff like this. So I'm just gonna show you. So this is the script slash the sheet itself I have recorded now previously, the calculator. So over here it was expected to earn like $10 per day, and after that it ranges from $10 all the way to $15. But of course, the recent news and update of MXC itself, I believe that the profit itself has went down like minus 20% or even 30% for some of the users out there. So for my case itself, I'm not really going to talk about how much am I earning per day, but of course I have a sheet recorded for all of the time snap that I've done videos about this MXC itself. So over here you can see if you purchase the miner itself, it's going to cost you around 2,885 US dollar. And after that, if you're going to break even itself with the expectation of like $10 in profit itself, it's going to take you around 288 days to break even. And of course, if you make up to $15, you're basically going to ROI within 192 days, which sounds very interesting and lucrative itself. And of course, from there, I already done like a math itself. So within 288 days, you will basically be making profits. And of course, is this true itself with my own personal records? So over here, you can see over here, I have basically purchased the unit at February 17, and after that, from there, it's the price of this amount, and I'm paid like $288, yeah, 2,884 USDC for the payment itself. And after that, from there, you can see I have received the miner at the 3rd of March, and of course basically deployed it with a miner score of 80%, because when you purchase the miner itself, it's gonna basically have a score of 80%, because the uptime itself is counted as 0%. Therefore it will need 1 or 2 weeks to basically reach the score of like 100% or something like that. And after that, from there, they recently previously around June itself, they implemented the Bitcoin mining itself. Therefore I really staked 5k of my token, not from the mining earnings itself. Instead, I purchased another 5k MXC to basically stake it, because if let's say I withdrew from the miner itself, the health score itself is going to decrease. Therefore I'm not able to basically project ultimate returns for MXC itself. Therefore I purchased additional 5k token to lock it up. And of course, for the Bitcoin itself, I would say since the lockup, almost 6 months of lockup itself, I've earned around $36 US dollar. And after that, it's of course ranging from the price of Bitcoin itself, so generated around 0.002 miner 0.002 Bitcoin itself. And after that, if you want to calculate by the days itself, I would say around 6 months, which is 180 days. So we're gonna do a little math over here, divided by this amount. No, not it is this amount divided by 180 days. So over here divided by 180 days. So over here we can see that the Bitcoin projected results itself is basically on average itself daily, I'm getting like 0.0000012, basically a few cents. To be honest, it's very little for 6 months of lockup itself. But of course, you are using MXC to generate Bitcoin, so I would say, off an investment point of view, I would say it's not really worth it to basically buying this Bitcoin itself. Instead, you can look at the main chart that basically the device you're going to purchase using US dollar, convert it into MXC. So you might be thinking, would it be better if I buy MXC token and held it, or I can just do the buy a miner, and after that, from there it will generate me passive income? So over here I already done some snap record. So over here this is the latest 27th of December. Over here we can see I have total mined around 43,831 MXC, which convert to the value itself is 1.4 thousand US dollar, which I'm making a loss of like 50%, even, yeah, because of the price of MXC dumping. So over here you can see the previous snapshot itself. MXC was at around 8 cents, but of course it has plummeted towards 3 cents, and of course over here we can see that as of today the value itself is not that much. So I would say with this one whole year itself of investment itself, because I started off around March period, so on the March period itself it was fairly high peak, and after that from there the price of MXC itself kept dumping and dumping. But of course if I purchase my miner later on, like maybe let's say the end of December itself, I might be making some profits of the money that is generated. But of course I would say this over here you have to really take a lot of things to account. Basically the price of MXC, the news, the fundamental itself. So over here you can see the MXC same old joke, basically 4 years in the market itself, and they have not yet delivered what they promised. Therefore I would say somehow like a bad thing from the news feed on CoinMarketCap itself. So over here we can see should you be invested with it. I'm gonna explain it to you later. So over here for my case itself, generated almost 1.4k in the token purely. So if let's say I decided to withdraw everything itself and sell it, I'm gonna basically get a value of 1475, which I'm gonna net myself with a loss of, over here basically I'm losing like 1.4k instead of making my money back after almost, I would say, 9 months. Yeah, around 8 months of mining itself. So by right itself 8 months of mining, you should be basically almost alright with your money itself. But of course sadly I have not, because of the price of MXC itself has been dumping. So I already set the risk rate itself in the previous video, talking about if let's say you want to purchase this kind of product, these are the one type of the risk that you have to look out for is basically the price of the MXC token itself. And after that over here, if I withdraw everything itself, my health score itself will be 50. And after that, from my understanding, if let's say you withdraw everything and you sold, basically your miner will be generating from maybe like $2 to $3 or even $1 to $3 if let's say you did not keep the health score at 100%. Therefore I'm still mining at 100% because I am trying to basically recoup my funds for the purchase of the miner itself. Therefore if let's say the price of MXC rose or whatever I mine down the road, maybe I would say it might take, for my case itself, it might take 6 to even a year later to basically see the results of RI itself, basically almost 2 years to see a result of break even. And I would say around 6 months onwards as of today, 6 months or 12 months down the road, if let's say the price of MXC stays stagnant over here, and after that from there I'm gonna make the double of this value. So if let's say I mine double of this value, definitely I have really make my money back. So around another maybe 8 more months of grinding, or maybe a year itself, because recently they have basically slash their rewards with their metaverse and stuff like this. So over here they're issuing less rewards from mining itself. Therefore I would say should you invest into it personally? So over here we're going to talk about something like should you invest into it. To be honest, I already shown you my charts over here. So over here almost 8 months of mining itself, or 9 months you want to call it. Basically over here you can see I've been mining, and after that from there it was projected slash resulted that if let's say the price of MXC stays stagnant all the way since the beginning of time, I will be basically making back my money within the year, and of course with some profit. But unfortunately the price of MXC has been crashing since the year itself. So here we started at the start of the year, and of course if you mine, and maybe at this peak itself, if you mine for around, I would say 3 months, you might have made some money off the $10 credit or maybe $15 credit of MXC per day over here. All the way to the top itself, you might be making almost the same value, or maybe $1,000 of this miner for almost 3 months. So over here you can see the price has really like doubled since then, but of course it has dipped almost, I would say, lost 70% of its value. So whatever I've been credited to me basically per day itself was $10, $10. So every day itself it is depending on the price of MXC. So if let's say the price of MXC is high for the day itself, I receive lesser in MXC. If the price of MXC is very low, I receive more in MXC. So this is one of the hedge that you can know of this investment itself. But of course, as of the whole total generation itself, you can see around 300 days should already be making 3,000. But nope, but of course over here this is only 1,400, which almost, I would say, 70% of the value cut itself. from the price itself. But of course, if I sold everything today itself, I will never be making back my money itself. Because why? Number one itself, if you purchase the miner itself, you would know that the miner is very easy to set up. A few clicks and after that you are done. But of course, if you want to sell the miner off itself, first of all, you have to deal with like the waiting time. Basically, if this is your miner for sales itself, you have to know that if is there anyone willing to pick up the miner itself at a 50% health value. Because if let's say you want to withdraw everything itself, you will probably just withdraw your MXC and of course sell it off to basically cut your losses. Then you sell the device to basically make even more, to basically break even or take a very little loss. But of course, at the health value of 50%, I don't think people will pick it up, because the price of this MX M2 Pro device itself is 2,750 euros. And after that, from there, with the discount or whatsoever you want to call it, basically you're paying like 2,500 euros previously. So for my case, it was listed at 2,538, but of course they have increased their price. So to be honest, this promotion over here does not really make a difference. To be honest, if you purchase it right now as of today, you are not really getting a deal. Instead, it's just a marketing scheme to tell you there's a sales that is ongoing, but technically there's no sales because they increased the price to 275. And of course, sending out this newsletter telling you that there's $200 off the device itself. Basically, you are still paying 2,550 euros plus shipping. And of course, for my case, I paid 2,538 plus shipping. So technically, it's the same. So do not fall for marketing tricks. If let's say they come out and telling you it's a sales, make sure to check the historical price of the product itself before you purchase any. And after that, from there, I would say highly recommend if let's say you are looking to burn off your money. Yes, I'm gonna say that you're gonna degen yourself, throw your money into this type of project. I would say, yeah, you can feel free to go ahead, buy the miner, and after that, from there, take it like the investment. Like for my case, I already took it as a loss because I know that if I invest into it, there's only two outcomes. One of it, I will break even and I'll be happy about it. Secondly, I will lose money, and after that, from there, I already prepared myself for the worst case scenario that the project goes to zero and I lose everything, and I will just take it as a learning experience in the channel itself, to basically my viewers itself, for those who are looking to make passive income. Yes, we are here together, and after that, from there, from time to time, I will basically show opportunities telling you that, oh, there's a passive income here and there. But of course, at the end of the day, there's risk involved into it. So if let's say you're willing to take the risk with me, basically we can basically go through the journey itself, and of course know that some of the investment out there, you can definitely make money. You can make lots of money out there if you have lots of money. But of course, like this type of project, previously there was people telling me that they're gonna buy like 10 of these miner itself, like 20 of these miner. But to be honest, I was not really ready to buy 10 of these miner, 5 of these miner. And if I did that during the day itself, I would say, yeah, basically I'm still in a loss of half of my value. So I will not be able to bring back my money during that peak itself. If let's say I buy maybe 10 of the miner, I will basically have 10 of this miner. That is, to be honest, this miner itself, by the looks of it, it is somehow running like a Raspberry Pi or some sort of device in it. But of course, they are marketing it as a very expensive device because it can mine Bitcoin. It will give you like $10 to $20, $10 to $15 per day, stuff like this. But of course, they have to market it high enough basically for your break-even point itself to look reasonable. Basically over here, $2,000 basically need around 280 days, so on and so forth, to basically do a break even onto that. So therefore, I would say almost a year to recoup your money. So it is fair for the company, and of course fair for the economy system / ecosystem of the M2 Pro itself. But of course, yeah, I would say that this over here, I would say the investment itself is no go. But of course, if you still want to go for it, feel free to use the coupon code down below if you want to support the channel. And of course, I would say there's gonna be much of more of this kind of investment video that I've done previously coming up in the next few months itself, basically talking about the miners, the nodes that I have ran previously and stuff like this. So if you want to know more about that, feel free to subscribe to my channel and of course turn on the post notification. And of course, I'm gonna see you on the next one. Bye bye. Peace.